Ride with Tom Elliott.
5:08 in a moment. We're going to speak to a rapper 360, aka Matt Colwell. He and I had a battle of sorts a couple of weeks ago. He made some comments on Q&A with which I disagreed, essentially saying that the Australian flag was a racist symbol. I wrote that I thought this was ridiculous, that Australia is one of the least racist countries on earth. Anyway, he joins us in a moment. First though, Corey, good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon, Tom. I was just going to comment on Daniel Andrews' comment about discrimination in the workplace and his viewpoints. I just thought it'd be a perfect opportunity for Liberal supporters and Greens to start applying for jobs at the Labor Party and smokers at the Cancer Council and drug addicts at the anti-drug department.
You know, it's interesting, Corey. I think it was 6 months ago there was a job advertised for a chief of staff. And someone put, and they said they had to say they were an equal opportunity employer. I think it was on the Liberal side, but the idea was that it was highly unlikely that someone from the Labor Party would get the job.
Exactly. So I think it's ridiculous.
All right. Thank you, Corey.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for the call. Okay, 3 weeks ago on Q&A on the ABC Monday nights, Matt Colwell, a.k.a. Rapper 360, had this to say.
There's so many racist bigots in this country, and they're everywhere. And it's like, I don't know about, like I was talking to someone earlier about this, but the Australian flag to me has now become, I identify that with racism. Does anyone else?
Well, there you go. That was Matt Colwell there. He said there's so many racists and bigots here and that the Australian flag has become a symbol of racism. I took him to task on that. I wrote an article about which I felt very strongly in the Herald Sun a few days later. I said that I think Australia is one of the least racist and most welcoming countries on earth. It's not to say that there aren't pockets of racism. Of course there are. There are in every country. Notice that several other countries that have far more racism than Australia. Anyway, Mr. Colwell then wrote on Twitter that I'd said a lot of words, but really had said absolutely nothing. Anyway, he's been good enough to join us now. Matt Colwell, a.k.a. 360. Thank you for your time.
G'day, mate.
Yeah, do you still really think that Australia is full of racists and bigots?
Firstly, I'll just ask, is this live or are you going to quote me out of context again?
No, this is live. This is on air right now.
All right, no problem. All right. Now, what was your question?
Do you really think Australia is full of racists and bigots?
I think look, I'll put it this way. I'm legally blind in my right eye, and even I can see that the country is inherently racist.
Inherently racist. Well, my issue with that was I can list many, many countries that I've visited that are far more racist than Australia. I mean, what countries in your mind are less racist than here? But
that's the issue. I don't think that saying, well, these other countries are less racist, so it's all right that we are a little bit racist.
Well, okay, but on your definition then, the whole world is inherently racist.
Of course it is.
All right, and you think the Australian flag is a particularly racist symbol?
I don't think it was manifested in that way, but I think that from my personal experience, I associate it with racism now after I've experienced so much racism by people touting that nonsense.
What sort of racism have you experienced?
I've witnessed it. I haven't experienced it personally. I'm a white person. I'm sure, like, you find it hard to relate because you're a rich white guy as well, you know?
Well, I don't know about rich, and I've got plenty of other bits and pieces in me. But, I mean, this idea that racism is only a white thing, I mean, I don't know how much you've travelled throughout Asia, but I can tell you this, if you ask a Korean person what they think of Japanese or vice versa, they absolutely hate each other.
Well, if I lived in Korea, I would probably say that Koreans are racist, yeah. But over here, it's the majority of the white people that are racist because we are the majority.
Okay, well, why is it that we've allowed in so many non-white people to live in Australia if we're so racist?
Look, I'll just say this. The thing is, when you're talking to me, right, you're forgetting, like, you're trying to argue semantics, but...
No, I'm not trying to argue semantics. I'm looking at the real world and saying...
Am I allowed to speak?
Yes, you are, but we have let... You're accusing me of something. I'm having a genuine debate with you. There's lots of people here who are non-white. Now, if we were so thoroughly racist, I don't understand why we've let them in.
Okay, but... So if you're right and I'm wrong, then why was I inducted into the Illuminati and you weren't?
So what?
That's a simple question.
What? So I missed it. What was that about the Illuminati?
See, that's the thing. When I bring up a serious issue
I didn't hear what you said.
You didn't hear it.
I didn't say it again. I missed it.
I'm trying to explain why I was inducted into the Illuminati, because I am enlightened. Like, sure, I can rap, okay? But God rapper, right? Sorry for swearing. And you should check out his battles. But
wait a minute, you've been inducted into the Illuminati. Now, that's one of those sort of weird cults, isn't it?
It's not a weird cult at all. We are the enlightened beings.
You're an enlightened being. Well, isn't that rather racist to say that you're enlightened and everybody else isn't?
That has nothing to do with race. It's a mind frame.
Righto. So, well, I have heard of the Illuminati. I didn't realise people actually joined it. So
I'm a unicorn.
You're a unicorn.
Who are you to say I'm not a unicorn? All I'm trying to do is open everyone's minds up to these racist ideals, and you are just trying to stomp them out.
Okay, I'm not. Okay, I'm looking at Australia as it is. I live in a very multicultural neighbourhood here in Melbourne. There are elements of racism, but I don't think, having travelled around the world, I think we are at the very low end of the scale.
May I ask, did you read my response to your article?
Yes, I did.
Did you agree that you got body bag free and all zipped up?
Did I agree what? That I was body bag free and all zipped up?
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know quite what that means, to be honest.
Oh, okay. See, that... Firstly, I consider that racist, but anyway, that's another issue.
Well, wait a minute, sorry, I just don't... Why is it... Well, body bags is usually a reference to combat, because that's what they put dead soldiers into.
Here's the thing. All right. Sorry, let me gather my thoughts. I'm getting a bit worked up, and I don't want to come across the wrong way. I just feel like I don't know if your listeners have read your article, but I was misquoted, all right? And I just feel like it's journalists like you that give this whole career a bad name. Like, last week, didn't you interview an ISIS fighter that turned out not to be an ISIS fighter at all?
Yeah, we did, and we made a mistake with that, and we acknowledge that. But I'm just saying, are you sure that you're Matt Colwell here?
How much research goes into who you actually interview?
A lot. I listened to what you said on television. I just played a bit of it, and I responded to the words that you said.
Before you get people on, how much research goes into it? Or do they just ring up and say, hi, I'm 360, I'll come on?
So you're not 360?
Of course I'm 360, but I'm asking you in the general sense. How much research do you do? Or do you just go, oh, that's going to sell? That sounds like a headline. I'm going to grab that.
Matt, that's a ridiculous thing. We do as much as we can, but I can tell you, if you're trying to get someone via Twitter online from the Middle East, you take a risk, because there is no way. There is no way of checking. No way in the world.
What about someone who lives in Brighton, in Melbourne?
Well, that you probably could do.
Well, I'm that. Okay. I didn't get checked at all. I just got told to come on.
All right, Matt, look, we asked you, are you, or are you telling the truth, or are you telling a lie?
I am, look, here's the thing. Let me ask my manager if I can, if I'm allowed to announce this yet. Yeah, is that all right? Yeah. All right.
I'm Matt Colwell. You're a fool. And if you're not, you're just a liar. And I'm sorry, that's an idiotic and stupid thing to do. If that's really you, you are one of the least intelligent people I've ever encountered. We gave you a chance, you threw it away. 96900 693 13 13 32. Don't forget, word on the street for City G for $200 voucher from the Pancake Parlour is yours. Anything you've seen or you've heard. Follow us on Facebook, 3AW Drive with Tom Elliott, Twitter at Tom Elliott 3AW, or send me an email, drive@3aw.com.au. Calls in a moment, it's 5:16.